Okay, hello everyone. Today we are here in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 in the Cessna 152. We have a 31 nautical mile flight from Papa November Echo, Northeast Philadelphia, to Oscar Quebec November, Brandywine. We will be flying underneath the shelves of the Philadelphia Bravo, and we'll be using two VORs to help us navigate and avoid busting that Bravo. As always, we will be VFR flying, and hand flying in this case, since the Cessna 152 has no autopilot or GPS. So let's hop into the pilot's seat and get started. Northeast Philadelphia is in Delta airspace and runs right up against the Bravo for Philadelphia. The entire area is in 3D photogrammetry, so we should have some awesome scenery along the way. Okay, as we get everything started up here in the Cessna, I will cover the flight brief. So we are taking off from a Delta airport on the northeast side of Philadelphia, and we're going to an untowered airport on the northwest side of Philadelphia. There are 3 Bravo shelves between us and our destination, and those shelves start at 1,500, 2,000, and 3,500 feet. So if we were to fly direct, we would have to cut through the 1,500 shelf, and there's no good way around that, so we'd have to get a Bravo transition, but we can avoid them. We can avoid the 1,500 and the 2,000 foot shelf and just stay in the 3,500 foot shelf, flying at 2,500. That will let us avoid a Bravo transition. Because we don't have a GPS, it'll be a little tricky to avoid wandering into the 2,000 foot shelf and busting the Bravo. So we could come up with a bunch of visual waypoints, such as roads to stay north of, for example, to keep us clear of it. But there are VORs all over the place around Philadelphia. So we will use 2 of them. The Pottstown VOR is to the northwest, and right near Brandywine is the Modena VOR. So if we fly a radial towards the Pottstown VOR and then intercept a radial from the Modena VOR, we can plot a course that keeps us clear of the Bravo shelves and takes us directly to the airport. At 31 nautical miles, it's a short hop away for an airplane, so it's not that much extra distance to avoid getting a Bravo transition. The C152 has 2 course deviation indicators. Those are the 2 gauges to the left of the radio stack there, and we will tie those into nav 1 and nav 2, which will be dialed into the VOR frequencies that we can find on the sectional map. There is also a non-directional beacon available, which is Ambler NDB. That is near Wings Field. We used it in our last video, and that is along our flight path. So we'll also dial that in. I don't plan on using it, but it never hurts to have backups. So better to have a tool unused than to not bring the tool with you.
Northeast Philadelphia Airport Information Quebec 20000. Wind 283 at 7. Visibility 7. Sky condition, few clouds at 900 feet. Temperature 15. Dew point 13. Altimeter 29.902. ILS runway 24 in use. Landing and departing runway 24. VFR aircraft, say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller, on initial contact, you have Quebec.
CDIs and VORs seem a little intimidating at first, but they're actually pretty straightforward. So we're going to pick the radial that we want to fly along to or from the VOR. Then we will dial that in to the CDI, and then the CDI will tell us if we are left or right of that radial. That's all there is to it. The radial we want to fly to Pottstown is 301, so we will dial 301 into CDI 1. Then on departure, we're going to intercept that radial and fly heading 301, keeping the needle centered. The radial we want to intercept to Modena is 237, so we will dial in 237 into CDI 2, and when the CDI centers up, we'll turn and fly heading 237, keeping that centered until we come directly to Brandywine Airport. Ambler NDB is 275. We get that from the sectional. So we will dial that into our ADF and then look at the gauge above the ADF to see the direction to that beacon. So although we won't need it during this flight, it'll help us if we get turned around or disoriented. We could see which direction we are relative to wings field, which is where Ambler NDB is. Because this is a towered Class Delta airport, we will need to contact ground to get permission to taxi. We will also need to contact tower to get launch clearance. We probably won't be issued a squawk code here, since we are going to stay below the Bravo after we depart. So they'll most likely let us squawk 1200, and once we leave their airspace, that's it. We're just flying VFR. We are within the Mode C veil of the Class Bravo. That means that we do need to operate our transponder, and it does need to be in Mode C, which reports altitude, while we are within 30 nautical miles of Philadelphia. Northeast Philadelphia ground, November 359 Golf Charlie, with information Quebec. We are at the South Ram. Request taxi for a northwest departure at 2,500. Taxi and hold short, runway 24 via Alpha Lima, cross runway 9er 15, November 359 Golf Charlie.
63, descend at 2,500. That's 77 to 4.100 for 17, descend to maintain 3,000.
Okay, everything looks good here. Let's switch over to tower and request clearance. Northeast Philadelphia Tower, November 359 Golf Charlie, holding short, runway 24. Cleared for departure, runway 24, November 359 Golf Charlie. Okay, my last couple of videos I've been having a lot of trouble steering the Cessna 152 on the ground, so I did remove all of my mods for it. I have a couple performance mods for it, and we will see if that helps, because it's been a little Mario Kart-ish for me. So far, not too bad. Still takes a lot of effort to keep it tracking on the center line here. And we're up.
Southwest 4766, fly heading 030.
We did not get any restrictions, so we are free to maneuver. Once I am 400 feet above ground, then I will make my turn and intercept the 301 radial to Pottstown VOR. Okay, that looks good. I've got the radial all centered up here, so we're going to fly heading 301 and sit back and enjoy some of that scenery. a lot of fun. One of the things I love about the Cessna 152 is that there is no autopilot in this model, and you have to hand fly it the entire way. So it's a little tricky to maintain heading and keep that needle centered up on the CDI. So for a challenge, give it a shot. I hope you enjoy content like this. If you do, be sure to click that like button, leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. As always, thanks a lot for flying along with me, and stay tuned for further flight adventures.